join a 3+2 arena for a change. I think that'll be a nice change. I think that will be a nice change. We've barely even late joined this one. It is 9:02 on the East Coast here. And we'll play with some increment. Facing a Danish. So let's bush gasify this. Whatever we've got here. E5, D5. I probably don't want to take this. Rook E1, D5. Take, knight C3. Hello, Jose Capablanca. If I castle E5... No, that's actually probably fine. That's up shadow. So D5 I was thinking takes, but you don't want that with your king there, right? I mean, still maybe playable. Yeah, I was just leaning on... Counting on this simple knight E4. It was interesting. Maybe I could have played this. It would have led to some serious imbalances. Here I think I can go D5 and then knight takes D6 on en passant. That's what I was going with, and that has a tempo on the bishop. So they're just going to back up bishop D3. Let me just pop out this chat. Okay. Just going to back up bishop D3. And nice and easy. We can try to keep that pawn. Just hang on to it. No reason why not. Like knight D2. What would I play? What would I play? I could take it. If takes F5, then trade on F3. Not out of the question, but this. Okay, what? They just want to target this. I could stop it, but it's not even really worth stopping so much. Okay. B4 coming. Bishop is already out of the way. I wanted to target here, right? I guess knight C6. Now there's B5. That was their point. F6 is an interesting idea. Okay, knight D7. Bishop B2. I can target this with like rook E8. Or F6. F6 takes, queen takes. It's kind of compelling. It's kind of compelling. Because I like that it opened those files there for my rooks. Like, I want my next couple moves, really, just to be rook E8, bishop G4. So I've kept this pawn. Like, ideally, I would have wanted this knight on C6. I feel like it's the one piece, not really doing a ton. But, yeah, so they put this pawn on B4. There was B5. But bishop G4 would be nice. So we've just protected this guy directly. Okay, so here comes this attempt to trap my bishop. Just need to play A6 or A5. Just tuck it back in. It needs to stay along this diagonal. I also even had an AC3. I mean, now I definitely have an AC3, but okay, let's just keep some simple stuff. Okay, okay. The thing is, I don't really have to indulge you with capturing this and giving you knight takes b5, right? Like, that's what they've been playing for. Also, even if I did, my bishop has another square along here. Okay, pawn comes all the way to b6, but this is no longer hanging, right? Because I have... the knight is now... No, but that's their problem. I have queen takes d4, but I think even better is this. Because takes, right? And you think about it, at that exact moment, I'm up a piece. Yeah, so they realized they couldn't do it. And I'll just grab this. There's no bishop takes h7 check, which would win my queen otherwise. Right, they very temporarily closed this, which allowed the shenanigans to happen by putting the pawn right here. But we're all good. Takes f2, still hanging, going to the rook. And then he'll be free again. So you take with the bishop, forces the queen trade. Again, this guy's closed, so no d4 or f2 protection. But all in the nick of time to... Oh, not stay up a piece. What? Did I just hallucinate? Okay. Well, that was actually still probably my best move. Okay, let's think about this, because we're up a couple pawns. But let's do this right. So... Probably rook f3 and rook f7. If I take a5, then just take b7. I mean, I could play like that. 5, take b7, ac4. I think this is cleanest. Just take here. Rook b7, just come back rook f7. Solid defense. How many pawns am I up? 2, right? Oh no, 1. Just 1. Okay, I had to stop that. And guard b6, but then... That might be my last extra pawn if I lose e4. Okay, clever. But this should still be winning with the passed a pawn. That's what we're going with here. The knight can come to b3 pretty well. This is probably not the best defense. They were threatening an ac3 check, but otherwise now I just need to support you with a3. I think it was losing anyway, because even if they went king e2 last turn, I was going to go king d4. Let's go up. 2. Alright, knight obviously can't take my bishop. Now check, and I can zigzag all the way home. And I can even actually drive this knight completely out of b3. I forgot I had a backup pawn. I don't even have to trade it. I don't even have to trade it. But an interesting endgame battle. I didn't actually think that was going to be interesting, but they found some creative resources there for sure. Yeah, didn't think that was going to be interesting, but it was. Yeah, what's going on here? Oh, wow. What? Oh, bishop d5, I was just straight up trapped. Bishop d5 and ace move to attack the knight without giving me d5. Knight has no squares. So a huge blunder. I needed to go for this. Okay, it's playable. Oh, and this is a bad idea. I badly misjudged it. King is actually very nice here. And we've got these nice pawns. White, black, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It will protect you. Interesting, interesting. What's up, Clement? So, in the game, I mean, I think things were smooth sailing after they had the blunder. We were up this pawn. Got this extra double D pawn. They tried to attack D4. We're using all our pieces. We're defending. Everything's great. Everything's great. B6 is... So this is an interesting idea. I mean, definitely, like, you don't want to just hang tight and allow me to just kill you with knight e5, pressure on f3, and then behind that pressure on f2. So, you know, they went for something here. Apparently this is all correct, but it was this crazy forcing sequence of, like, takes. Typically that doesn't work out. Like, if you can't use a pinned piece as a defender of a bishop for this reason, but they had the resource of the knight on the other end. This was not the right choice. E takes f3. Somehow E takes f3 didn't even register to me. But yeah, the rook is hanging, and then mate is hanging, so they can't eat all this stuff over here. Right, you go to guard it, and then I eat stuff, right? Okay, and then even then I can still make more mate threats or something. So it's -5 somehow there. It wanted me to trade here, which I guess makes sense as well. So yeah, I kind of threw away my advantage a little bit. Because, well, mainly because I missed knight c4 attacking here and threatening there. But this led to a bad endgame. Yeah, I mean, a knight against a bishop with, like, an outside passer like this is probably going to have a tough time, because it's a very short-range piece, and, like, the king needs to get all the way over there really quickly. I mean, in general, like, a knight against bishop in an endgame, when the position's, like, so open and there's stuff on both sides of the board, like, the bishop can get from both sides really quickly. The knight kind of takes more time. If everything's on the same side of the board, it's one thing, but, like, this is so far, and so the knight's kind of having, like, a tough time here, just holding it off against all these resources. So I was able to pull that off. Okay, GG. Let's try to win this arena. 3+2, we didn't join too late. Thanks, Jose and Shadow. Shout out to y'all. $14.46. Okay, I'll berserk. Berserking here is even tougher because it's 90 versus 3+2. Right? They keep the increment. Queen takes or knight takes? I'll go with knight takes. But yeah, e6, g6 should be some sort of weaknesses. Oops, like slipping right in there. What's up, Megalodon? Boom, boom, boom. Let's go for h4, h4, h5. Maybe bring the rook around. h5. Queen f3. Queen f3 looks especially spicy. Not obvious how you don't get mated. f6 or f5 needed. Ooh. Seems a little desperate. Check. Now I've got a couple ideas. Okay, we gotta hold the knight. Some pressure here, right? I can give this check, but then what? Haha, JK, unless... Wait, check. Queen f3, right? Am I just gonna be super genius here? Queen f3, defending c3 from check. Hits f7. You take the knight, then I jump into f6, then I'm threatening mate. You can't do anything about it. You go knight f5, I eat it. Yeah? Yeah? Or I could have just played queen d4 like a normal person. I don't know why I chose such a convoluted route. We had to do a sacrifice. We had to do a sacrifice. Yeah, what? Was there any issue at all with just queen d4? Just trying to get to g7? e5 take, f6 take, and it defends c3 in here. And it just gets you me to g7. Well, we did the right thing. We got rid of the dark square bishop, and they had all these light square pawns. So we got into f6. Just in a weird way. Oh, well, okay. I had that as well. Okay, true, true, true. They're sticking around. They're sticking around. No, they're not. This is mate. This is a fancy little mate. And we get to use all our pieces. The knight got to sacrifice itself. The bishop got to trade itself off for the queen. The rook even came in handy. Very nice. That's really what I was going for. What? The Mets are losing now? It was 5-1 Mets. Now it's 7-5 Rays. Periodic table 4747. What's element 47 on the periodic table? What is it? We'll have to Google that after. D5 now seems early. Should take it? I'm gonna take it. Can I just attack? Like, attack and then, like, attack and just keep attacking it? What if I do that? What if I just try to win this? And, just still try to win it. Like, yeah, it's the queen line with the bishop, but the bishop's not protected. So, who's pinning who? Me. You can't play d4. I'm just gonna take it. And it's still, like, not a pin or anything. Bishop e3 I can play. d4 I think is totally off the table. It's attacked twice, right? So the queen check didn't help. But king d1 is also, like, very compelling to me. Because this is something I want to do. Just right now. d4. So I take it. Did they realize I could do that? Okay. So now both of these are hit. Okay, we can grab one pawn pretty simply, but probably want more than that. Let's give this check while I think about things. Now I've got things to think about, like how am I gonna get you? If I go here, that's the problem, it defends. So, okay, what I'm gonna do is probably take this. Because if you take this one, then I take here, check, and I've gotten then a few pawns for nothing. Then here, we've also got some dudes. We are 2 pawns ahead, because we just took those 2 pawns. And I was up in peace. Due to the double attack. Also, like, the simplest route would have just been bishop retreat and then recapture. Okay, rook d7. Damn, if only I had a light square bishop. What can you do for me? What can you do for me? I mean, I could just play like bishop d2, but then, like, what's my plan? I need something like c3 or b4. Not really loving the location of my pieces right now, to be honest. Not loving it. I think we're looking for a little bit of a shake-up. Okay, I can play c3. Because I'm just going to capture pawn takes c3. If you do play g5, knight h3, and then try to take d3. Okay, they didn't go for that. Now king c2. I'm going to hold this pawn now pretty solid. Again, if g5 was... I had a plan for this. I was going to takes, check. Okay, here. Let's play a4. Again, I could go c4, but I don't want to give that. Then there's serious pressure on d3, like, after this. So knight g4 hits this. Let's just deflect. Let's just deflect it. But you're double attacking, right? Honestly, maybe we just give one of them. Yeah, maybe we do. Okay, we were 2 pawns up, and the position was hard, but now we're just gonna be 1 pawn up. Okay, you wanted that one because of knave 3 stuff. Okay, fair enough. Just go rook 2. Here, I like this move c4 actually. I like this move c4. Although you could take it to put the knight on b4, right? Forgot about that a little bit. I was gonna say because I had b4 under control, and then I was gonna grab that nice outpost. So it takes. Okay, I'll play like king takes, knight b4, and then rook e1 though. Like both these pieces are good. This was a nice idea. This is nice. It's hard for me to bother him there. Okay, I actually don't have knight d5 here. That's kind of bothersome actually. Let's do there. Trying to invade. My opponent's been playing very, very well. I have to give them props, but this is hanging now. we can get rolling. Here we go. Don't do that. Let's just go. Just go with our dudes. Thing is, my own pieces blockade my pawns just a little bit. Could set up a rook a1, knight c7 situation though. Also, rook e4 picks this off. I mean, we're in business here. I don't know why I let him off the hook like that. It's my best pawn. Oh, whatever. Should have just stuck with my other idea, rook a1, ac7. Oh, yeah. I'm faster, yeah. This... I don't think you're catching me. Shoot, we're both going to promote. That's not exactly what I wanted to happen. It's definitely not what I wanted to happen. Oh, we got very lucky there. Okay. I mean, I think regardless, like, let's say they just go here. I was going to play b6. I think the b pawn's very strong and hard to, you know, distract me with so many checks for so long, but they could give it a shot. But anyway, wow, up and down game there. Got away with one. Comment from Wasted PhD, welcome. Hey man, I've seen a lot of your videos lately and you're quite talented. I want to ask for advice. I'm rated 1850 and 1900 rapidchess.com and I want to get the CM title. I was wondering, are these books good enough and what do I have to do, add or replace? Woodpecker method, yeah, that's great. 100 endgames you must know. Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, Grandmaster Preparation, Positional Play by Jacob Agard. First of all, I think that's a great selection. The best way to improve is to go over your games. Not to play, necessarily, but the act of reviewing your games, looking at your mistakes, trying to figure out, like, why the engine's recommending what it is, or even figuring out what that recommendation is to begin with. Oh, as we get a Bushcast Gambit accepted. And, like, that's where a coach can help you tremendously by recognizing those patterns. Let's hear. We got a Bushcast Gambit accepted. We could just transpose back into a Stafford with knight f6. I can explain what I mean later. But let's use the Bushcast specific move of f5, which we can't do if this were the position with the red arrows. If we had played knight f6 instead of bishop c5, like in a Stafford, blocking the f-pawn. It's that. It's going over your games and it's doing tactics. So, all the other stuff is absolutely great, but don't lose sight of the biggest things there. I wish you so much luck. Let's castle here now. So he takes f5. Well, what we're trying to do there with f5 is have not just the f2 target, like let's say, you know, they played h3 or something and stopped it, but also to use both the e and the f lines. So even if the worst case scenario is like takes, rooks come to this here, queen finds some sort of aggressive post around there, it's still like some nice compensation. Bishop e3 is interesting. It tells me you want to castle this way. So, which makes me consider bishop b4, but, you know, you didn't commit yourself to it. Could do that, knight d5. Take, bishop f5, queen d2, let's say, right? do there to cause a queenside bound king any problems? I don't know. Take, knight d5 is a queenside bound king. Let's keep this on the board. Other thing I could have done is rook e8. There was... Oh, you know what? There wasn't d4. Oh, wait. I should have just played rook e8. That's so stupid of me. Okay. Whoops. What? Why did I do that? This is kind of annoying because I would want to be here if they were short and here if they were long. And they can choose accordingly. Alright, let's go here. So if they play queen d2... Let's do this. I have the luxury of sidestepping a pin like that without this pawn. Blocking my rook. Okay, this is alright. We've got some guys pointed here. So come out, queen g6, and let's recapture. And let's look to cause some problems in that general direction. Increment arena is crazy. Goes crazy. What's up, Andy? KYZ. So we're down a pawn here. We got the Gambit glasses on, but we've got a little bit of compensation. Got some bishops pointing here, some targets in that direction. Let's just continue to bring all our pieces into the game while I think about it. So all these guys feel like targets to me. Rook's pointed at that one. Whoops. Bishop's at that one. So they guard this, but now any bishop move and I can eat that. For example, bishop takes d3 is not playable. Queen takes d3 or takes, and I would lose my pinner. And then I would lose the rook here if the queens were traded. So the bishop should go elsewhere. In fact, almost anywhere elsewhere. Queen h6 also on the table, just because I have that as a resource. I mean, you can really combine them nicely. Like, let's say g3 you induce, then bishop move, then we're attacking the bishop in such a way that any way where it moves, f2 hangs. I was just thinking, is bishop h3 even better? Mayhaps. It's just a little complicated after bishop e4, queen g5. No, I mean, it might be. Both of these are actually really good. I think the position might just be kind of completely winning. Yeah, I mean, just to underscore this for you guys. Queen h6 here. So h3, I would take it, right? And win. And g3, just literally any bishop move. And then the bishop's just hanging. And then f2's hanging behind it. And you're not guarding that. This, I think, is also just very effective, though. Again, combining just all the pieces are cooking. So lots of pressure on g2 and pressure on f3. So bishop e4 was their only move there. I was even thinking about rook takes f2. Here, rook g2, king h1 take, king g1. I don't see anything better than a draw. But I will be very ashamed if I missed it. Rook f2 takes rook g2, king h1, takes king g1. Then if I came down, then there's bishop back to e4. Queen g5 is good. Because I'm pressuring f2, and h2 can be another target as well, like, say, queen f4, to attack these. We've really got everybody cooking. And they've only got one dude cooking. Too few cooks in the kitchen. So here I have bishop f4, and I also have queen e5, both of which are good moves. Let's go with... No, queen e5 is not a good move. Now I think this should be good. And rook takes with pressure here. Unless this was dumb. Rook e2. No, I have bishop g2. Take, and we win. pressure on G2 building. If that, I was going to go check here. And then... It's not quite checkmate. This is not checkmate. I should have repeated once, maybe. But I think we got it, because Rook H1 stops Queen H4. But Rook H1 allows Queen G5, and... Oh, that's mate. I think we had that the whole way. I think so. Unless the engine's about to just roast me here. Oh, and it did. Okay, so we opened up the files. What happened here? Yeah, I mean, this decision... Well, it didn't even like Rook E8. Queen F3. And castles. Okay. So, it wanted me to just trade. What if you run away? No, you just live with that, apparently. And then attack something like this. Okay. Well, a little uninspiring, but bishop b4. We were able to kind of keep some guys on the board here. I mean, I think everything was pretty reasonable on both ends. This, you didn't move your bishop again. It's not an annoying pin with the rook's assistance, because queen e8, queen g6 sidesteps it very nicely. And if I had a pawn here, of course, queen e8 would not really be possible. It would force g takes, but it's different with the rook. So castles, and we were able to bring that up. It wanted me to bring my queen right to e5, which is interesting. I thought just f4, but just check. Okay. I play queen g6. I make this trade, and then my opponent's just like kind of lollygagging here, but they need to get their button gear really quickly, like some sort of fortress, like so, because they just play rook u1. I bring my piece into the game. They're just lollygagging bishop f3, thinking that's solid with the pawns defend and bishop defending each other to clog the file. But after bishop to h3 here, this is extremely strong, and they're already lost with the rook stacked here, threatening, say, like, your rook takes f3 with either a pin or, you know, anything else that could result in checkmate, like this. So, no, lots of pressure on g2. Only thing to stay alive really was bishop e4. Queen g5 wasn't even the most effective. Better was queen h6, because I can just... Well, this is even better. And the most direct route into h2, and then f2 and the king. So that wasn't really possible. And queen h6 coordinates here, as well as on f2. In the game, queen g5, queen c1, bishop f4, shut that down. Here, and we go for this, take h2. So this was correct. Everything I'm doing is correct at this point. Take and rook f2, which was fine. Apparently this was even better. Check in here. That makes sense. It's a nice little pattern if you can do it like this. Like check here, take here, and then like with the queen there, pinning the king down for rook h6. In the game, we had rook f2, which is still winning. And this was all correct here with rook f4. Ah, no, it should have been the other rook to f4. Because apparently this allowed queen g4. And then taking this rook, importantly. Not the g4 rook, but the f2 rook. Anyway, but this did make a force mate threat if I did it with the right one. Threatening queen h4. We dragged the king out sufficiently, and then we had this. GG, interesting Bush-Gas Gambit battle. Lost 400 elo points. In one, I don't understand. What's up, Neo? Vera? Okay, we're rolling in the arena. We gotta play more games, though. There are 4 points ahead of us. There is someone 4 points ahead of us. Let's play... Let's see if we can Berserk. Our next Bush-Gas Gambit. Against Scrappy-Doo. Oh, yeah. Oh, I took them off only for a moment. Knight f3, interesting line. Bush-Gas Gambit accepted. Again, we have d4 stopped on every turn, including this one. Knight takes and queen d1. Queen e2 check, rare move. Should I go with the knight or with the bishop? Let's go with the knight. Is d4 on the table now? Is that the point? Because if I take it, then knight takes d4. They just go with d3, but... Okay, let's go bishop g4, and I want knight d4 next, now that we've got a serious pin. Queen e2, strange move. So now if I go knight d4, hg... I mean, I'll just take the rook and just stay winning, yeah? They don't really have another choice. They have to give the rook right now, or else I just take on f3 too many times. No, I mean, this move can be very dangerous. Put your queen right there. I didn't, like, not to even mention, like, the rook coming here, which is kind of the biggest thing. But even a resource like this. So hg4, best is queen h1. Knight d4, bishop d4. Here we are gambiting sleep again. Nice. What time zone are you in? It's only 9:38 here in New York. You and Witty Alien are literally the reason chess is fun. I am so honored to be mentioned in the same breath. Thank you. It's okay, YZ. Queen e4, we're tagging f3. So, if I take, knight takes, it's nice because I get in the line of fire there with the queen, but any knight move there they can really block. And I think something special about e4 for me is that I can just kind of... Well, if I take bishop e2... No, we're still winning there. Because bishop e2, I just take e4 and then h1. 338. Where do you live? It's got to be on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. Attacking queen and this queen a4, I had bishop c6, right? That was my idea. Bishop e2, I had takes e4, takes h5. It can otherwise be a good resource, like pinning a bishop and queen like that. But I take, and then grab h1. So queen just comes to f4. I can even throw in an hg6 if I feel like it, but I don't really. Bless me. We've got this cut. But 24 seconds is no increment, right? And they have increment. Alright, get glasses off. We're up a rook. Block. Guard g7. Attack queen. I wanna be with you everywhere. That's what that car was blasting. Gotta love Fleetwood. Here we go. Boom. Oh yeah, I forgot I have to be fast. Ooh. Go. No, pre-move that. Yes. Let's go. Tops. Top arena dogs. Top arena dogs. We were on. Wasted PhD with the follow on Twitch. Appreciate you. If you guys subscribe on YouTube or follow on Twitch, I see it here. And I shout you out here. And I appreciate it. Alapin? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Gambit glasses. On. This is the anti-French machine. Ooh. Good move. Okay. Okay. What do we got? Let's just play something generally useful, I think. Oh, but it's not that quick of a time control. With this move, they want to play bishop b7 next. They're not really so ready to castle. Let's play this knight e4. I think it's kind of annoying. I think this knight's a very important defender. And I think that recapture they didn't want, because it really ruins their fianchetto. Now I'm happy to make this trade. Are you going to go pawn takes or queen takes? If you go queen takes, I think you lose. Knight e5. And then I just hit f7 too many times. So it actually forces pawn takes, which is not what they want. Oh. But it is what they do. Okay, knight e5. It's not like they have a way to counterattack g2. The queen has no squares that can attack g2. Now f7's hit just too many times. You should probably give the queen. I was going to say take and then take. They go queen h4. Right, so this is interesting. I have a problem on h2. Their bishops are well placed along with the queen. But let's make a quick stop along the road here on f4. If I take f7, then bishop e5. No, let's come here, rook f4. Well, rook f4, queen g5. Rook f4, queen g5. Queen g1 is kind of spicy. Bishop e5. It's actually more annoying than I realized. Okay, what we're going to do is play bishop f4. And the bishop's just going to come to g3. That way we cover h2, and we cover the queen coming onto g2. Queen d4 is impossible because of bishop e5 check. And okay, they're able to get rid of this bishop. Like, queen h4 actually really changed my perspective on the line there. Okay, I don't need a backup, though. I can just play queen d2. No, I mean, we're all good here. We still got some nice comp, but this queen is kind of in my face. Hard to develop. Knight c6, I have like knight. I have at least bishop g3 first, and then maybe bishop e4. Bishop g3, there was never this. I have bishop h7 check, winning the queen. So, but there's queen g5. It's just kind of annoying. But queen g2, I'm just going to develop around this. Alright, so there's no like f6 and then checkmating me here once the knight moves. Like, that's why I put the bishop here. So, like, I would just go knight g6 right now, for instance. Bishop c6, that seems desperate, and they're just like saying, William, please do this. I might even say yes, though, because take bishop e4 wins material. It's just so desperate. I just kind of curious, like, what's going on? What if I just ignore it? Okay. Makes a little bit more sense. This is an idea. Yeah, I think it's trapped. Well, no, they have bishop b4, right? So what we need to do, actually, believe it or not, I think is trade queens. Queen d4, I think I still have knight c6, eliminating the knight as a defender, and then bishop h7 to take the queen without the knight defending. So queen g5, my point is I'm going to trade queens, then play c4, trapping the bishop without having to deal with bishop to b4 in that position. So they go queen h5, which is kind of the concession we wanted there. Now we're just going to make this line work. I think we do it with bishop e2. It's funny, I want to trade queens right now so that I don't have this. Though, alternatively, I'm happy to run you out of squares. Queen g5 is your last square. It's your last square. I can't go bishop f4 because I get mated. But this is... Yes, this is exactly what we wanted. Trade queens. Oh, wait, but are you not trapped? Do you have this square now that I want bishop e2? Forgot about that. Bishop e4. Thought I was trapping you. For some bishop move. No, bishop takes e5 and you hang on. Oh, that's so annoying. They do hang on. Messed that up. Take it. I have bishop e3. Oh my god. Got very lucky there. What? I guess they meant rook d7, after which the endgame was quite interesting. I think I was coming back into it, like I had some comp. But wow, did I get lucky. Wow. Somehow, some way we just got lucky. Trying to like stalemate themselves there. Yeah, wow. No, I think I was fighting my way back into it. But I had other opportunities to win. My point was queen g5, and then I was going to trap this with c4. But then by throwing in bishop e2, so I couldn't have gone for this so directly. But by throwing in bishop e2, maybe like d7, looking at ideas to bring it here, then it gave them this square as opposed to when my bishop was here. Right, so it didn't work out the same way. And I'm kind of just down a pawn, but we fought our way into it. But then they hung the rook, so got a little lucky there. Wow. My streamer name is FM twice. Oh, I think because I describe myself as FM William Grafe. But then my title is FM, so I think I need to just describe myself as William Grafe. Licha Throny 23, but it's not even that, because it's only one S, so I don't know how to pronounce that. A W is a W. Certainly been on the other end of those many a time. Alright, big center, I'll take it. Even shout. I wanna be with you everywhere. E5. It's only really makes a ton of sense if you're going E6. And I'm thinking about it. I'm not seeing like a huge compelling reason to do so. Just go here, keep bringing them out. I don't know. Tuck them back in. I mean, I need to look for E5 or D5 at some moment. There's logic to either, because there's still no E5. Pressure here. Go away. Oh. They had no idea. I've had success with this line faster time controls. Thanks, William. Oh, nice. Did I see the shout out from Eric Rosen? I did. I did. I meant to comment on that video. He played the Bushgas Gambit. Loved it. I want to do a speedrun, but I need one of those accounts, like approved by chess.com or something. That's a speedrun approved account, right? That can refund all the rating points. This was already lost for black. The knight was hit and d7 was hanging. So yeah, knight c4, I could take it. Even here, even if they don't open the d line, then knight d5, I mean, it just sucks. All this gets attacked. It's okay, maybe you can hang on for a second like this, but it's very bad. But yeah, go Eric. Go Bushgas Gambit. Alright, one more game here in this arena. Onis. To get any username with just 4 characters, you gotta be a pretty early adopter. Mine is 6 characters. Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll contact like Leechess or something about it, see if they can give me like a speedrun account. Do people do they do that? Does Leechess do speedruns? Let's play one of these. Leechess doesn't do speedrun accounts since you're on the front page now. Elaborate? I'm on the front page. Front page of what? Oh, just like people can click on that and see that it's me? So it defeats the purpose, like, because they know they're playing me? Speedrun account, by the way, for those who aren't aware, is just like when Hikaru or someone will just make a brand new account, like just starting at, you know, no rating, and just be like, how fast can I make this account 3,000? But then all like so like, you know, when he's 1,200, he'll be playing against other people who are 1,200, and so to make that, but he's obviously not of that strength. So to make it fair, chess.com will refund all the rating points of that account to all those people. Tiny Ezra with the follow on Twitch, appreciate it. Oh, Leechess just doesn't do that though. Okay. Oh well. What do we got here? I feel like I've had this exact position before. Maybe not. Something similar. My opponent tried to play like a Catalan or something lame like that. I guess this is a problem. If I go here, could... Alright, I'll just play it. Attack d4. Yeah, I have a couple videos now on the tape variation. No, I've not seen Will Taylor Chess. I'll check it out. He also plays this line. I mean, as much as I love the dummy Gambit against the Alekhine, as much as I love it, we do need something else. Just given the nature of that line. What's up, No Friction? Crazy Pro 321 with the follow on Twitch. Appreciate it. That was not a good move. Queen should go to f3. I was just going to play knight c6. But, no, they need to bring out their other pieces. Now I have queen c6 check. Ooh. Not even a queen f3 here that would, like, take my rook on the other end. You got to be aware of 2 things. Number 1, openings onto your king. Ding, 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 ding. That can be brutal for this exact reason. Number 2, any piece that's unprotected. Like, this is literally protected, right? Anything that's unprotected can be won, say, due to both of the factors aforementioned. There you go. Alright, we won all the games. Oh, and we barely got credit for that last win, too. So, yeah, 25% berserk rate, 100% win rate, 2375 performance. And we've won this nice digital trophy to add to the collection. Here, let's join another arena. You guys can vote. Do you want 10 or 5 or 3 or 1? It's actually not going to be 1 or 3. Choose between 5 and 10. Just type 5 or 10 in the chat. You're the longest following follower. Are you my first follower? You've been around a while, though. You have, my guy. Because I used to stream on Twitch like way before I was even a YouTuber. Actually, just like a little bit off and on. Back on my poor laptop. Before I was the Gambit Man. How do I see, so tournament points. I want to see all my, where do I see my fake trophy collection actually? I don't even know. I see some 10s, 3s, 5s. Aw. Hey, you've been around. I was just Will. Imagine. Oh, best results. Well, okay, how many arenas have I won here? It's been some stats. $10. I'm seeing some votes for 10. Alright. 10 it will be unless people... You can keep voting though. I could change it in the next 40 seconds. What have we done here? Got some victories. Wow, we've got some good arena results. Apparently my best result is when I won this big hourly Super Blitz arena 2 years ago. First out of 757 people. We drew and then won them all. 42% berserk, 92% win, 24-23 performance. My second
10,
best
9
is this
8,
one.
7,
Where we actually won
6,
them all.
5.
Alright, let's try to do
4,
that. Perfect arena,
3,
that would be awesome.
2, 1, 0.
Okay, we played 10, but just berserked. I feel like that defeats the purpose. We were choosing between 10 and 5, and you guys just voted for 10. What do we got here? Danish? It takes bishop c4. What's going on here? I think if I now play my bishop to c5, the problem becomes that they can take it and queen h5 check. Therefore, I might just play knight f6, e5, I have d5. But they can play knight f3 now and make this a bishop's opening. As much as I love just putting my bishop on c5 ASAP. But they play e5. This is a nice counterpunch. Just in this setup in general, like e5 looks really good. Like it looks like the knight's only squares g8. But d5 really works as a great counterpunch. Because, well, they had some weird prep here. But takes f6, takes c4 would be nice. We can go over this more after. So what's going on here? If I go knight c6, I guess bishop b5. And okay, we can play like that. Some knight move. Knight c6, bishop b5 is here. But okay, we should calculate as the most forcing option, which is take. They take d8, king takes d8, takes f6, takes f6. And then I have an extra pawn in the endgame. It's this. Kind of hard to keep track of a little bit. It's hard to keep your leg not on an awkward angle when you can't put any weight on the foot. Okay. Another option is c5. Check, presumably. Bishop d7. Here, knight takes d7. Queen is hit. e5 is hit. Say queen f4. Then we can try to get it, but I'm not so convinced about this line, even though we can keep going deeper into it. Knight c6, bishop e5, e4. I mean, it's a pretty compelling setup because, like here, okay, we can go up a pawn in the endgame, like a tentative pawn. But what I like, yeah, I like this knight c6. Alright, so I fully expect this move with the queen hit. And now I'm going to jump in knight e4. And it's a square I didn't have access to before. In fact, my knight couldn't go anywhere because d5 was hit twice. So now with the knight e4, the thing is what it does against this queen so well is bishop c5. It supports it and then hits f2 together on the other end. So you got to come up with a good response here if you're white. Probably bishop e3. Then I play bishop c5 anyway. Let's say queen d3, trade at minimum, and then I can just attack e5. It's just kind of pleasant like that. Queen could move, like let's say to a4, but then still bishop c5. Let's say take, take, take. It doesn't end well for them after bishop to d7. Takes d5, but then I take f2. Bishop f2. I don't think you want that if you're white. Probably bishop e3 then. And I'll probably just go bishop c5. Trade on e3, and then maybe even just castle. Does Gambit Man usually berserk? Yes, he usually does. He usually does. And he usually pays the price for it in terms of severe time trouble. Well, usually, actually, it's technically not true. I think my berserk rate is probably lower than 50%. If I feel like, you know, I'm playing like 500 plus points down, then I will often. Berserk is when you cut your time in half, right? So you saw my opponent start with 5 minutes, which is half of 10. When you cut your time in half at the start of the arena, I don't like this move, f3, on their part, because, well, let's have a look-see. I'm just rearranging my chair. Okay. We're playing bishop c5 for sure. Because queen h4 check, g3, I can't take it, my queen will hang. So we're going here. So the only way out is through for Mr. Knight. The only way out is forward. So their point is that if I go knight to f2, then after queen takes c6 check, bishop to d7, they're going to take c5 probably, right? Then I take h1. And then they're just going to be like, okay, let's try to pick off this knight, and then we'll get 2 pieces for a rook. This piece, and then the knight if they pick it off. We could go down that line and just be like, you're not going to eat it. Like, let's say here, just be like, no, I don't think you're going to get my knight, because I'm going to go like queen h4 check and take h2. I can't go queen h4 check right now because of g3 takes, and my queen will hang. What I can do is, like, let's say I go checking f1, that achieves nothing and just puts another piece in jeopardy. But if I do it with queen h4, g3, then bishop f2, king f1, oh, you don't want to step onto a light square if my queen's on h4. You know why? Any knight move, it being check wins their queen. Queen h4, yeah, that does it, that does it. Queen h4 check, if you don't block me, you're just going to lose. But now bishop f2 check, your queen is unprotected. Oh, but it went to d1. Oh, so smart, because now knight takes c3. Very nicely done by my opponent. Knight takes c3, defends their queen. And I don't have knight f2. We have another twist. So what's going on here? Well, I can just go queen h5, making this pin and saving my knight. But there's queen takes c6 check, and so a lot of complications ensue. Like, they would take my rook, and I need something there. So, what am I going to do then? Bishop takes g3. We can do, but we're leaving a couple things hanging. We need like a double rook sacrifice kind of line. It's not off the table. Some crazy line with like here. Bishop d7. Takes a8. King e7. Queen h8. Bishop g1. Right? In that position, f3 is hanging. I mean, I think that's what's going to have to happen here. Because if I take g3... Well, okay. Take g3 might be more reasonable. They can still take the rook, but the point is, like, I can get something back if I'm able to drop in here. So, for that reason, they might take e4. I would still go bishop g4 check after king to d2. This is playable, but the other one's just so fun. I think I can pull it off. Queen h5 here takes e8. Well, okay, we would probably just do it giving just the one rook. There's no reason to give two. Alright, let's do this. Queen h5. So, we've saved our knight. g4, I'm taking it, obviously. And I have the big threat of bishop takes g1. Because if we trade there, then I go queen takes f3 check. And their only square is king e1 and queen f2 check. And then I would take the rook at minimum. Or bishop g4 check ending the game. So queen takes e6. Now let's say I go king e7. So you can't take d5 because rook d8, right? Which could otherwise be a good defensive resource. Queen d5 and then queen e4 in that position defending f3. Now, if you take my rook, what I'm going to do is probably take the knight and then be like, how are you defending this? If you go king e2 in that position, then bishop a6, check, and I would wing your queen. So we are down one pawn here. It's a fun moment to, I don't know. Are there any glasses that commemorate this moment? So they choose to take c7, but we can just block that, right? We can just block that, and we've got everything covered, and we're not down a rook. We're just down 2 pawns. No biggie. No biggie. So, no checks around me. Can they throw that in? Maybe. I would go queen takes g5, f takes here. But then I can also, like, if I just don't want to deal with it, I don't have to. f6, take. Go away. I'm going to take g1 and take f3. So if you're white here, yeah, you need to shield f3, and they do with this nice move g4. So, where are we going now? Where are we headed? Let's go to g6, because in another twist, our latest idea might just be a coordination on c2. As our opponent still lacks development in all facets, but I didn't have bishop takes g4 owing to the pin. They don't want to take that, probably, because queen takes g4 or queen takes e4 in one order or another is going to win that rook. Queen takes e4, take the... So nice c3, nice defensive move. Are we playing... Which rook are we bringing over? Maybe this one. Well, if they go knight takes d5, then king... Yes, so this is why we use this rook. Right, knight takes d5 check would make get another pawn down, but king f8, we run away quite nicely. The queen is hanging. It does not have d6. And in that position, queen just needs to move, and then I feel like I have good coordination here. So they don't go for it. They play queen to a5 instead. Now, what do we got? We got a few options. We can just trade on c3 and force pawn takes. Bishop to b6 is interesting. Well, what's happening there? Knight takes d5, king f8. If I trade, and then just try to, like, attack it, right? Like, let's say rook c5, rook c8, bishop d4, even. I could trade and then, like, take here. This is more interesting, though. Just trying to go knight f2. Here, I'm just trying to go knight f2. I also got a lot of options, to be honest. A lot of things to consider. Bishop b6, knight takes d5. Let's say king e8 to play it safer. Then their queen is hit. They go knight takes b6, but then I would play knight f... No, not that early. I would play knight takes b6. And I would get in my knight to f2, wouldn't I? I'd get him in one way or another. So we're going to go bishop b6 so that the knight can use the square. That's what we're going with here. I want the knight to use that square right away before it gets taken. So queen b4 is check, but I can block it again with tempo on the queen. Now they take here, but we can run away. Should I go to e8 even just to hold the bishop? No, not necessary, because queen b7, I have bishop c6, which deflects that. No, wait. Oh, I didn't see that at all. They'd check here and then take with the queen. Oh no, I didn't see that. How did I miss that? That's not good. Try to go in here. Okay, well, you gave me something. But I don't want to get mated. Am I mated? Queen g2 and a2. Don't know, I missed that completely. Oh, I can go here to go bishop f8. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Here and f6, do I lose? Also check and take here. Wait, this game is so far from over. They messed this up. King b7 now. What a roller coaster. Well, I don't want to trade queens. Let's go there then. Maybe I should have gone queen g2. I can, but now we get this knight. Not bad. Rook f1, we're not trapped because I have the square because the knight is gone. Then I get to take on e5. That. Aha. Now if you take it, I go rook d8. I have 11 seconds. Oh, man. Wow. Okay, what a battle. That was a roller coaster. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, it still came down to just a blitz out, even though we had a lot of time. I mean, I was fortunate, actually, that my opponent berserked. Right? I was fortunate that my opponent berserked, because they had 5 minutes. So very well played by them. Kudos to them. Okay. Let's have a look here, starting from the opening as the computer is analyzing and probably telling us all the blunders we made. So it takes bishop c4 and f6. This is already, I think, a pretty good line for... This transposes to like a Urusov gambit, which can be nice. Just giving this pawn with queen takes d4 coming with tempo, so there's no d5 here. The knight just needs to retreat. And then in this position, white has like some nice compensation. But e5 here as a strike against the knight, like I even... like, let's say I play like a Sicilian and bishop c4 happens, I'll play knight f6 just to bait an e5 because it looks really good, attacking the knight and just driving you right back to g8. But d5 here is quite nice because, like, this recapture is really good. The bishops are very nice here. Pawns are actually quite solid. And, you know, with long castles and the open G and D lines, there's a lot that black can do. So, I mean, that also stands in king's pawn structures, like in this position d5, take, 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 take. You know, this is actually, like, really, really nice for black. They just bring out their pieces like so. In the game, after d5, they immediately rattle off queen takes d4. Engines, so, okay, what I played was kind of the 1A, 1B. D takes c4, so you could just play this endgame. We would have had a very, very different game if I would have tried to win this endgame up this pawn. That was one option. What I went with here, which still gives me advantage, was knight c6. I was trying to keep queens on, something a little bit more dynamic. Bishop to b5 played to get the bishop out of fire and also to not lose your queen owing to the pin. Knight to e4, which is now a very nice square because it supports bishop c5 and a hit here. Instead of doing something more natural here, but like it's still a nice position for me, I'm going to castle and hit e5 and take advantage of your poor king position. They play this sharp move f3, which invites bishop c5, and after trade queen a4, the position gets pretty muddy pretty quickly. So the knight is hit, but so is c6, and with c6, a8, and c5 potentially as well if the knight has moved. We got to be very careful here, and I go for it with this idea of queen h4, g3, bishop f2, right? Trying to make, and here I thought the game was already over when I played this the first time, because I thought the king is just going to a square where it can be checked by the knight, e2 or f1, and then I take g3 for check winning the queen. But they do have king d1 right away, and everything I've done has still been correct this whole game, and it's still like a little bit better for me. It's minus 0.3 if I go with this line. Bishop takes g3. The line here would be queen takes c6. So apparently taking the knight loses to something here. Knight e2. Take, take, check. And then maybe like queen f3 or here queen f4 coming in. So you got to know that this is not going to work out for them. And I think the point also is queen takes c6. No, it's just, you got to know, you got to have that calculation down. You got to feel like the king, there's nothing around the king, and like you're just getting in, I guess. And then if they go for this, this is the better line. Not take a8, because then I can also just win a rook, and when I win a rook, it's better because my pieces are more active around your king. So they don't want to make that trade. So their best line would then be like take c7. This is pretty similar to the game. Here they've got a pin, and there's some wild lines here. Knight f3. Okay, apparently this is all a little bit better for black somehow. I'll finish that to completion. Queen e4. It's like check. King back. I mean, this is all just like so difficult. But apparently this is how we get to an endgame. And it's a little bit better for black. After all that stuff trades. Wild, wild, wild. That's not what happened, and I chose the queen h5 option, which is simpler because it cuts down on my opponent's options and it makes things pretty clear for me in terms of what I want to do. I'm not losing my knight, right? And I want to just take g1 and then take f3 next turn, and I thought this is pretty effective. My opponent, to their credit, is also choosing the best moves. So queen takes e6, king e7, and queen takes c7. So they're eating what they can, right? So, right, I don't want to go bishop d7 because then I'm here losing too much stuff, or they can here just take d5, and they've grabbed a rook with check. Right, they've grabbed a rook with check, so then when I take here, they're able to eat my knight, hold f3, and just be up a rook. So I can't really go for that. So king e7, now if you take my rook, now I take g1, and this is just too strong with f3 hanging as well. And like I said, no real way to protect f3 at this point. Queen takes d5, you're too slow. King e2, there's bishop a6 check, winning the queen owing to this rook. And knight d2, I can even take that knight in my way. And then take f3, or just knight f2 directly. So, they take c7, right? They're taking what they can with check, and I go bishop to d7 blocking. And so when I looked at this the first time, I thought this was great, because I'm still crashing through. I'm going to take g1 and take f3, and you're out of checks. And also, all my pieces are doing well, my king is safe, and your pieces are not doing well. Sudish, subscribed on YouTube. Shout out to you. So. What is happening here? My opponent's best move to hold equality was this move e6, which is very tough to see. What does it change? e6 and then g4 is what the engine wants. What happened in the game was just g4 immediately. By the way, do we have computer analysis done? It's still analyzing? Why is it taking so long? Huh. Okay, bishop to d7, they played g4 directly, which is interesting. And I, again, choose the right option here, which is queen g6 over queen to h4. But g4 they're playing now because this is pinned. And it looks like now could be an opportunity to take the knight, but really not quite yet. Because after queen takes e4, the rook is hanging. And again, you just don't have the development here to support it. This is really just the one check. There's nothing there. And then I'm going to take the rook and eat everything else here. So with queen to g6, we're still looking good here. We're down pawn. This is about where I put on the Gambit glasses, right? I'm like, rook c8, I'm going to get you on c2. This is looking awesome. So they play here knight c3, which is a nice defensive resource. And again, this is the only good move in the position that preserves advantage greater than minus 1.5, and it's minus 3.2, which is bring this rook over to c8, so that if I do get this capture, now I can start looking to run away potentially in this direction. King e8, first holding the bishop, queen a5, and then like some knight move to try and play queen takes c2, checkmate, right? So I go here so that I can run away towards there without with the rook being on that side of the king. So rook hc8 was a nice resource, so they played queen to a5 to hold the knight here, standing between me and checkmate. And we, again, go with the best idea here, which is the bishop to b6. Bishop to b6, hitting the queen, and then looking for knight to f2. So the point here is, like, let's say knight takes d5. We play, like, let's say king e8, so we're out of the line of fire of checks. And now after something like queen to b4, trying to checkmate me and not losing your queen. And then knight takes b6 isn't really going to change much, because I can go check, and then recapture this knight. Note not in the other order, because that would guard f2. Oh, well, no, it's fine. I have the queen there. So it's some queen move, and then I can go knight to f2 here, and we're still looking good. But, yeah, I was going to say here, and knight takes b6 also works. And so let's say queen to b4, trying to come into e7. I also have here check, and bishop c5, right? So not allowing them to come to e7, and then I will eat the rook. So this looks good, right? Bishop to b6, we're pulling that back, hitting the queen, looking at knight f2. We've actually played this quite well. I'm going to refresh this. I don't know what's taking so long with the analysis. Computer analysis done. Computer analysis done. Okay. But it's not showing me. All right, in the game, they played the most tricky way, which is queen to b4. And this is very, very tricky because the move order matters a lot here. They're playing here queen to b4 before knight takes d5 check, which is actually the trickiest option of them all. And now my move bishop c5 becomes a huge, huge blunder, even though it looks like automatic. I play this instantly. But I play it instantly because I'm just like, oh, I hit your queen again, and now I'm going to play knight to f2. The problem is knight takes d5 check, which is what happened in the game. King moves anywhere, and then queen takes e4. They just took my queen because the pawn was defending. It was the one thing that was stopping them from taking with the queen. Knight takes d5 check. King moves, and then they took this. They just took my knight, and I never got to play knight f2. Like what a disaster. I'm just down a piece now. What I needed here, apparently, was king to e8. But then this gets crazy, because, like, now you need to allow this capture on e4, right? Otherwise, I'm playing knight to f2. And now I'm supposed to play takes and follow it with, like, d4. But that makes sense, actually. d4 now, hitting the knight, and then trying to play queen takes e4. So, like, some knight move. Well, that is, like, this component to it. But apparently it's also not good. But then queen takes e4 is the point here and here. As long as, you know, you don't get mated on e7. Interesting stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure points in this position on the light squares if you're white here after d4. So even though you're down a piece for a moment, I guess that's how you had to play it. What a wild game. But bishop c5. So here they're actually in the clear because they took d5 with check and then grabbed d4. So both of us, I think, to this point have played really, really good games. And I made the last blunder, even if it was my first blunder, which was them getting me on this little prank here. Bishop b6, I mean, a very ambitious choice, trying to go knight to f2, and I really had to see that it's actually okay to allow pawn takes, because d4 is actually such a strong resource, and black is even winning here, even though down a piece. In the game, bishop c5, they take, and here, so we're just down. We're just losing here. We're up 213 to 113 on the clock. I go queen a6. Of course, I'm not trying to trade queens down a piece. Trying to go queen f1. my opponent, right? So queen takes h7, which is not like a mistake, but there's no reason to allow such crazy imbalances here, right? They're trying to mate me and I'm trying to mate you, right? Just like you should go knight e2 and try to not allow any imbalances in the position. Like I was still gonna go for like bishop c6 and like trying to get you here or however I can, but no, I mean I think you can keep that pretty solid, all things considered here. And just try to stay up your piece. But you give me a chance here, you give me a fighting chance, I feel like, with trading these resources, when in reality you should just be trading pieces because you're up one. There's no reason to allow such crazy complications. Okay, king d2, and then, I mean, like, I think I was just dead mated for the longest time, and then finally I realized I go king e8 to tuck my bishop back here. Queen to h3 apparently was the only move to not lose. The only move to not lose is queen to h3, and I think it's because there's anything else like queen g2 and it leaves the rook hanging. Queen h3, because yeah, queen f2 and a2 and you're okay. Interesting stuff, interesting stuff. So queen h3, but they didn't want to do it because they were looking at b3. What they want to do is, like, if I do nothing, they want to go check, and they like they're still thinking aggressive. They're still thinking aggressive. They're like, I want to attack the queen and I want to mate you on f8, right? That's what they were thinking about with b3. They're just trying to get me right now. But with bishop to e6, now it's a little trickier because they give the same check, but now I can run king d7. I play bishop e6, hitting the knight, and now with check here, king to d7, the bishop does not have anywhere great to go. Let's say bishop to b2, even with the rook protected. Now check, and I'm picking up the knight at minimum. So here, it's already like an even ball game again because I'm picking up this knight after king d7 hitting the queen with the knight hanging. So what happens now? Queen to h3, right? They're trying to trade queens. I'm like, no, thank you. Queen f2. Still, they're actually up like 4 pawns, even 4 pawns. Yeah, 7-3 in terms of pawn count. So I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to get into that sort of endgame where I'm down 4 pawns. So I'm going here, queen to f2 check, trying to keep that on the board. So my pieces are much better, and my king is a little safer, but 4 pawns of compensation. So how do you evaluate that? I guess minus 0.4 with best defenses. So rook to f1 played, queen to e3 check, king d1, and queen takes e5. We get our queen out of there somehow, some way. And here on move 28, we're in an equal position. Oh, we just got the things on Leech Chess with the blunders. You can see here how much having no time changed it, because when you can see here on the right me scrolling past, and like almost nothing is marked with mistakes or blunders in any regard. Like just this one move by white is like a slight mistake. But then I get down here. When we start getting low on time, right? They play this one move b3, which gave that back. We start getting low on time, then it's like blunder, 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 right? Which I think is pretty funny. So, anyway, in the game, queen d3, queen takes e5, so we're hitting the rook, but they didn't even see that. Rook b1, it would have been an interesting battle raging on here. Rook e8, rook d8 probably is something you want to play. King somewhere, and then trying to get them, and it's still fun. 3 pawns down for like a hell of a lot of compensation. Give me that with black every day. But okay, they're just playing f4 here because they had very little time. They didn't see the rook was hanging, and so from here, okay, we were just kind of moving around. I'm not sure this is really worth analyzing because neither of us played so great, but I didn't get flagged, and I flagged them. Although, you know, obviously it's winning by the end. So, a roller coaster of a battle. A true roller coaster of a battle. I thought I had them in the beginning. I mean, props to my opponent for also really playing quite well. Well, we pulled it out. And, okay, we spent like over half an hour on that one game. So we're 43rd in the arena. Rhyme Master, what's up? How you doing? Welcome, sir. Milda Bello with the subscribe. Evie with the subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. Hi. Hello, Junaid. I'll be. Anthony. Yeah, that was a battle. It was a battle. Alright. Try to get back in the arena a little bit with the Berserk. My volume is a little high. It's just Berserks that are loud. So they did a check perk setup. I never actually moved my D pawn though, so this is not a threat. Like, I'm not pinned. It's not like my bishop is somewhere good to go over here. I could play h3 with g4, or I could just... Let's just play g3 and castle. Alright, like here, I was just gonna get attacked by stuff. I mean, queen a5 makes sense if this was the idea. Trying to play knight takes e4. And then, you know, some other ideas with it, too. Oh, I mean, it's not the end of the world for them. In fact, I didn't get my, like I like to do this against fianchettos, but I didn't get my stuff either, so guess we're even. Didn't get what I wanted either. I could play this with d4. Probably gonna have to trade queens if I do. Well, d4 takes, queen takes, they have d5. Potentially bishop c5 to follow that. Okay, maybe d3. It has been way too long. I am good. I am good. I have been working and streaming and YouTubing, which I love, and chess boxing, which I also love. Alas, I broke my ankle in 2 places last week and had surgery. But I had my first PT today. I didn't even tell you guys. Look at this. I got a walking... Want to see? I got a walking boot instead of my splint, which is a big upgrade for William. Walking boot, very deceptively named, because I'm still 2 weeks away from walking, or any weight on my left foot. And in fact, it's heavier and sweatier, especially this time of year, than my splint. But I can take it off to put pants over it, which is a big plus. But otherwise, I'm never supposed to take it off. I'm supposed to sleep with it, everything. Just showers. I did mention it on stream. Yeah, my foot. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks, and it's hard to, like, even do stuff, you know, like even anything around the house, carrying anything. It's crazy how much you need both your feet. It's really wild. Just a lot of hopping. And this little knee scooter and my crutches, which I've gotten good on. But yeah, I had my first physical therapy today. They did some movements, and we made sure I was working out all my other muscles, especially like the other muscles on my left leg, you know, like just trying to be safe but isolate my calf. We looked at it for the first time because we took off the walking boot, and it was the first time I really looked at it without like a splint or a boot over, and my left calf has shrunk even just a week and a half, like so much relative to my right calf, which I guess makes sense. So like a little concerning, but nothing really I can do about it. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna work as hard as possible. You know me. I'm really gonna try to be there at the World Chess Boxing Championships in Serbia. Hopefully I'll be at 100% even too. All right, well, this has kind of gone the way I wanted, right? So we did all this. G6. Not a big fan, because I feel like you can just kind of take twice at any moment. What I really want is f6. Again, can you take it twice? Maybe. Do something with the bishop. With f6, the thing is I need... Okay, so let's put our queen, like, here or something. Are you playing f6? Did I just lose my window? If you play f6, though, then I'll play g6 and then set up a bishop takes h6, right? I think you're a little cramped. But f6, g6, what I wanted to make sure is that I got to h6 before anything happened. It's actually not so critical, because I think my biggest idea is going to be h4, h5. So I don't think this was so worth it. Because f6 takes, knight f6. I don't think that we're getting away with that at all. I was just going to play bishop g5. So I could have just done this, provoke g6, and then just gone h4. And then h5. And then worked on stacking on the h line. Hopefully they don't have any counterplay. They were able to achieve this and takes, but it didn't do a ton for them. So you got to get them here, right? I want to arrange a hit on h7, but I can't because of this pawn. If this pawn were on h2, then I would go here and probably just win very directly. Awesome, awesome. Good seeing you, man. So they do go with the f6. So g6, h6, queen h4. Queen c7, take. Queen c7 is their best defensive resource, yeah. Okay, but let's call them out on that. So g6, so they have to push. If you trade, then I would just waltz right into h7. So you gotta push. Oh no, don't do that. What? I wanted a little bit of a fight there. Okay. Well, okay, they can still play f5 and f6 to not lose. That's true. f5 here. So, okay. Actually, didn't give that enough credit. Alright, we're going pawn. So you have that to not lose. I have check, let's say, and then I can also go back. But let's get rid of this knight so we can come into h7, right? I need to get rid of both these knights. Well, queen b4 can come, so... Yeah, let's actually... Okay, no, let's go check. Yeah, and here, so that queen b4, now I have knight e4, which is what I want to play anyway. And then with the combined power of the bishop and the knight, getting rid of these guys, boom, 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 then I'll be able to get to the promised land. So checkmate. I don't know what you do. You just need to accept that, like, the rook's gonna have to move and then the king's gonna have to run. And then maybe, like, you can run. It's probably not gonna end so well. I mean, we've achieved quite a lot here without black generating any counterplay. Rook's gonna come to d1 to cut you off from running any further. So then I'm gonna check here, check here, check here. King's gonna be there, and that's as far as you're gonna run. I think that's it. I don't think there was anything black could have done at this point. Like, obviously they missed knight e4, but I don't think it mattered at all. You could try to arrange an f8 defense, but it's still too hard. It's so tenuous. a5. Yeah, they really have not much to do. Gonna just play rook d1 to cut them off. Right, because rook takes f6 still allows you to run. It's gonna happen at the end. Playing as a checkboard setup, deciding if F5 is good for me or not. Yeah, it can be if the king is there, probably, is what I would say. If the king is there. So, rook takes d7. I mean, any of these captures we're winning. Interesting, actually. Well, okay, but what we can do, this is check. The rook is just hanging. Also, wait, I mean, I could have just done check, 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 right? And then that's mating. Checked. And mate. Okay, guys. We won all the games here. I'm very, very tired, but I'll stream again tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe here on YouTube and follow here on Twitch. Check out the link tree, which is right there linked, for the full Gambit repertoire breakdown. You just click on any of these. Full free repertoire right there, and more in the playlist of example games and such. Join the Discord, awesome community, share games and more. Thank you. And I'll see y'all next time, but we really appreciate all your support.